Just treat people how they want. Like you said, if you could, depending on how bad you're swinging, if you can get enough time in there and say, tell me your story.
Today in our series on race relations, we ask each other, what do you want the other race to know? And we actually listen to each other.
Well, I think we have to ask the question, we generally speaking, if we're having a conversation with another race of people, and you're another race from us, whether you're, whatever your ancestry. So I want to ask each of us, ask the other a question, but what do you want us to know?
What I want you to know is to just talk to me like I'm a human. Don't treat me like I'm a black person. Don't treat me like I'm a white person. Just treat me like a person, period. Just communicate with me. Simple. Don't communicate based off of certain things. Just communicate for what you see. That's why it's so important for people to talk a certain way, dress a certain way, and behave a certain way. Because if you act a certain way, you're going to probably get treated that way. Because what else can we base anything off of? We shouldn't, but that's what you're displaying. And
stereotype.
Stereotype. Until we are showing something different, that can really change which way the conversation goes. You can get into muddy waters when it comes to the young children, and you can have kids that are dressed a certain way, but it doesn't mean that you have to kids dress like they're gangster rappers, but yet they're very intelligent because they like that style. So that's why I say and from my point of view, just talk to me as a person. And then how I respond to you will dictate how the conversation is going to go. I had a situation today with a young man that it's obvious there was something wrong with him, and I tried to treat him like a person. He tried to hit me. That's a different conversation.
Right.
That's a whole other conversation.
But after we had our conversation and got things squared away,
and you got your point across.
I got my point across. I immediately said, "What's going on?" Because I know you normally don't want to do stuff like this.
Was this on your job, sir?
And I made it very clear to him, I'm here to help you. I care about you.
Yes.
My friends care about you. What's going on? He immediately changed just like that. But he expected me to continually be angry. I wasn't angry that he swung at me. I just couldn't believe that he think he was going to take a swing at me. I was like, wow, Matrix. But at the end of it, he ended up shaking my hand twice because he was just dumbfounded that I treated him like a human being.
And you asked what was wrong. That goes back to my comment.
Yes.
Everybody's got a story.
Yes.
I don't care your skin color.
Yeah.
He acted that way for a reason.
Yes.
So you approached him. Basically, you were saying, "What's your story?
Yes.
What's going on with you?" Not, you didn't sit here and even tell us what his skin color was.
No.
See, so that's my point. You didn't say a comment based on his skin color. You said, "What's going on?" So you extended a hand of kindness.
Yes.
And it turned the tide of the situation.
Yes, it did.
And that's what I'm saying, learning people's stories.
Yes. Even to the point when they act ugly, you can still just, Lord, give me the grace.
Yes.
Give me that mercy. And once they realize, oh my God, she's not going to react because I'm acting this way, I've seen it time and time again, they change. And they end up apologizing to you because you did not turn into what they're saying that you were going to turn into.
Right.
And I've seen it. I've had people want to hug me, shake my hand, and that's our nature. That's what we teach our kids. Just treat people how they, like you said, if you could, depending on how bad you're swinging, if you can get enough time in there and say, tell me your story. Because if you think about it, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. And I really thought, I thought about it. I was, in theory, turning the other cheek.
Right.
Because I could have done other things.
Yeah.
But that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I really wanted to know what his issue was. Because we're firm believers since we're in deliverance ministry. There's a root to everything.
Yes.
And the root to this kid's issue was he didn't have a father. He didn't even know his name. And that tore my heart. It just hurt me so bad. When I said, "What's your daddy's name?" And he just looked at me. And you can tell he was fighting his chick. I'm a macho tough guy.
Yeah.
I don't really bother me, but yet he was crying on the inside.
Right.
Because he didn't have a father.
Wow.
And he's identifying himself as a fatherless person. And he doesn't know how to control his anger.
Right.
So anybody that tries to say they're nice or friendly, he's fighting against that. Because he never had that dad to say, "Hey, you're going to be all right."
I would want, as far as people to embrace me, not to look at the color of my skin either. To get to know me. I've lived it. Family. Not my family, but friends in the same family. Or not friends. Yeah, I've had friends that were in the same family. But because one got to know me and the other didn't. And so later on, it was where the other one ended up coming to apologize. But that was because of her assumption. And when one got to know me and the other one, and that's just my rule, I get to know people. So when I hear, somebody say something, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get to know me too.
Right.
But if you don't, I'm sorry for you. Because when you gain me as a friend, you pretty much going to have a best friend for the rest of your life.
I love Sis.
So,
and by the way, that's not her nickname. That's the nickname I gave
right,
her.
that's only Katie's.
That is you're the only person in the entire planet I call Sis.
Oh.
Okay, Leann, they're trying to go to sleep. Leave me alone. I'm texting Sis.
So, yeah, if I would just say to anything, to anybody, just treat me like a person. Get to know me. Don't be afraid. But fear, people have fear to get to know somebody.
Yes.
And they would prefer to choose assumption instead of fear. They would prefer, God said, to ask and ye shall receive. And I just think that's a rule, period. And as a body, as his body, as his children, we are afraid to ask. We are afraid to go beyond that line. Remember when you say you're drawing the line in the sand right here, I dare you to cross it.
Right.
I cross that line because that's the only way I'm going to get to know you. If I stay on the other side of that line, I'm just going to see you for, the color of your skin, and you got a husband and you got kids. That's it. Don't know anything about you. But got much gap. Yeah, assumptions. But got much gap. The spirit of gap. A lot of people don't realize how, the spirit. I used to have the spirit of gap. Talking about somebody when I knew absolutely nothing about them. It was just only from what I heard. So instead of me having relationships off of what somebody in my family went through with this person, or I'm like, well, you know what? Let me start over with this person because I don't even know.
That's a good point.
So let me just take something to them, and that's what will genuinely happen. We will a good relationship, a good friendship will evolve, and then just me praying and ask God to show me how to trust them because I don't know them. Yeah, I don't know them. So so just love me for me, get to know me, and just don't assume. Don't assume. And I'm like, those are 3 life lessons right there.
So what do you want other folks to know about you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, and this might surprise you, because one thing that I want other people of color, whether it's Hispanic or African American or whatever, but there's been many situations where I actually want people to look at me and not assume I'm prejudiced.
Yeah, that's deep right there.
I mean, seriously, because I think there are certain groups or certain individuals or whatever, certain communities or whatever, who see me with my little white kids and start making assumptions, and they have no idea.
Just like Sis said.
And so that might surprise you because I've been in situations where I feel like they're looking at me like,
Prissy little white girl.
yeah, and
that's sad.
I have family members who are not my skin color. I have dear friends, and so that's one thing that I want.
Yeah.
I wish that people did not just. They looked at me and didn't see skin color as well. That's one thing I wish. But another thing is in relation to the African American population, black population, is this has really touched me a lot too since we've been traveling, and we just go to more museums and we go to Civil War battlefields, all the places where you learn about history that American history, things that have torn America apart or divided us. And one thing that I wish I could just say to all people of the African descent is I'm sorry. It just breaks my heart to learn. And I was telling Sis off camera earlier, I just wish I could go up to, sometimes I've just been so touched at a museum. I wanted to go up to a black person, African American gentleman, and just say, I am sorry. I'm sorry for what happened to you, and I regret it. And that's because it really touches me that and that happened. We don't understand that level of cruelty. But another thing is that it's, we have to acknowledge each other too. We can't just say, I'm not sure if it's okay for us to just say, oh, well, we're equal. Yeah. We have to, yes, you are different from me, and she is different from me, and he's different from me. We don't have the same ancestry. Right. And just acknowledge that. And just, again, we all have a story. We all have a purpose and a story, and we're all worth being heard.
That's right. We're being taught to
that's right.
Heard out. Yeah, that's so true.
So I guess the thing that I would want you guys to know, other people of other races to know about me, is basically the same thing you guys are saying. Don't just assume because of the color of my skin I think a certain way. Just because I've got a beard.
That's point two.
I don't have any tattoos. Right. But just because
what if you did?
But what if I did? Yeah. Just because I look a certain way doesn't make me a certain way. Yeah. One of the dearest friends we have in the world lives where we moved from years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. He's beard, tattoo, but when you look past that and don't stereotype him, he is the biggest teddy bear.
I knew you were going to say it. He is.
We love this guy.
Love him.
Jerry is an amazing person. Wow. And he didn't come to know Jesus until he was in his 30s, 40s. Wow. And he's sold out.
Yes, he is.
And to know that me, always, pretty much all my life been a Christian white boy, upper middle class family, can sit here and worship with this guy with a beard and tattoos, or I can sit right here with my brother that's a different skin color.
That's dressed alike.
And to know,
I know.
Yeah, dressed alike. And to know, get past those stereotypes. Look at the person and let the person give you a reason to think a certain way about them. Just like it.
Next time in our race relations series, we're going to have some answers for you.
I'm not going to get to know that neighbor, because then I'd have to do something to help, or gasp, I might even be her friend.